final report today, some Trump supporters are saying, damn, we could have listened to Kamala Harris. They are regretting voting for Donald Trump and saying, yo, Kamala Harris told us maybe we should have listened to him. Okay? And what did Kamala Harris warn them about? We are going to find out in this video. But before we do that, let's watch these clips of these American Trump supporters.
I voted for Trump, and I wish I voted for Kamala. Reason being is that Kamala said that Trump would surrender Ukraine, and at the time, I thought she was stupid. I thought she was playing it up.
If I could be honest, Kamala Harris would not have attacked Iran. And Kamala Harris would not have been responsible for 25% of the national debt increase, and Kamala Harris would not have done a rug pull where she gets $1.4 billion in her own pocket, and Kamala Harris would not have put zero effort into investigating all the people who went to Jeff Epstein Island after they passed a bill to expose the people who went to Jeff Epstein Island. So, yeah.
If you're backing Donald Trump right now, I just have to say, like, how, right? And I voted for Trump, by the way, because, I voted for Trump because Biden was falling up the stairs and doing sketchy stuff. And so there's no way I could vote for Kamala again, right?
MAGA was right, y'all. They said if you voted for Kamala, that gas prices would go up. We'd be in a war with Iran. Jobs would be harder to get. The economy would be a mess. And elections would never be the same. Well, I voted for Kamala, and here we are.
Imagine being so fucking terrified and scared of black women that you voted for the clown car that's happening right now. Imagine feeling so fucking inferior to intelligent black women that you voted for a convicted felon. You voted for a reality TV host, a failed businessman, a bankrupted fucking asshole that is destroying our government, burning our constitution, and honestly ruining our fucking lives. You didn't care about Medicaid. You didn't care about Medicare. You don't care about veterans. You don't care about children going hungry. You wanted to feel so fucking superior because this, the color of our skin, we are fading into oblivion because the world is a fucking melting pot. You are so terrified of blackness that you voted for a failed reality television host that couldn't even operate a casino.
Y'all have to watch this. It's like this woman predicted how it was gonna be if Donald Trump was elected into office, and oh my gosh, it's like, why didn't she run for president? Y'all have to look at this. Look at this.
Consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol.
Donald Trump isn't just the source of the problem. He is also a symptom. That awful kind of symptom that festers, when you don't treat the underlying disease. In this case, the concentration of power. And make no mistake, there is a cabal of co-conspirators around him who coddle his corruption. Corruption that, by the way, is no victimless crime. Every minute they tend to his fragile ego is a minute they're doing nothing to help you. They would rather put money in his pockets than help you afford health care. They would rather build his gilded ballroom than reduce your grocery bill. They would rather try to silence their critics than help you fill your gas tank. Their people deploy ICE to terrorize our neighbors who will not lift a finger to help you make rent. They'll spend $125 billion on Trump's war in Iran, while folks can't even cover their basic needs here in America. This is the most callous, corrupt, and incompetent administration in America's history.
Understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
The North Dakota Supreme Court just reinstated a criminal abortion ban with devastating consequences for pregnant women who aren't even seeking abortion. Let me explain. Every abortion is now automatically considered a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison, unless the doctor can prove to a jury that one of these exceptions applied, which means that doctors will only treat cases that look 100% defensible in court, even if that means the patient suffers. Routine complications that used to be treated early will now be allowed to progress because treating them too soon could look like an illegal abortion. Pregnant women will suffer longer and face a higher risk of danger from preventable conditions that could have been treated earlier, which is exactly what's happening in other states with similar bans. This ruling forces doctors to run on legal fear instead of medical judgment.
So there's a woman who is a conservative. She's pro-life. She voted for Trump. But she's regretting her decision because now she's pregnant with her third child. She's older. And there might be some complications where the child might not make it. And her doctor's saying, hey, you may need to go out of state to get a late-term abortion, right? So she's going through a panic. And she calls her husband to tell her what the doctor says. And her husband said, no, that's just a liberal doctor. Don't worry about it. First off, to that woman who's in this situation, I'm sorry. I hope the worst case scenario does not happen. I hope you have a healthy baby with no complications. I would never want anything to happen to you and your child. Never. I don't understand this need to listen to your husband over a medical professional. I don't get it. That's why a lot of us don't mess around with religion. That's why a lot of us don't play around with conservative men. Because I would want a husband, because everybody's like liberal husbands are, my liberal husband would immediately go, what state, how much money we need to gather, let's find a doctor, here's a directory. That is the type of partner you want. The problem with conservative men is that they think they know everything and they think they own their wives, even at the detriment of their wives. I don't understand, ma'am, how you could listen to a man that's not a doctor and politicians about your health care versus your doctor. And we have been telling y'all for so long, this narrative that they are pushing about late-term abortions, wrong. It's wrong. It's only if there's something wrong with the baby. It's not just for the fun of it. Because if that were the case, then that would just be murder. Trump, Greg Abbott, your husband, they are not going to help you if things ever really took a turning point.
Welcome back. Now, they were warned by Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris warned about tariff could raise prices for ordinary Americans. Kamala argued that Trump's broad tariff proposal could function like a tax on important goods and ultimately increase cost for working families. And she also criticized economic policies she said will favor wealthy individuals and corporations, and that is happening. Kamala Harris warned that Trump could become more aggressive and unpredictable in the second term. Harris repeatedly was heard describing Trump as unstable and warned that a second term could weaken democratic norms, especially because he would face fewer political constraints than during his first administration. Number 3, he said Trump policies could hurt workers, could hurt seniors, could hurt women and healthcare recipients. Nobody listened to him. And Kamala campaigns argued that part of Trump's proposed agenda could negatively affect healthcare, labor, and everything. Again, she said, or she warned Trump's economic promises might not produce the lower cost supporters expected. Okay? And this became especially important after the election because many voters supported Trump, hoping that he would quickly reduce living costs. But Harris' campaign had argued that some of his proposal policies, particularly broad tariffs, could instead contribute to higher consumer prices. Again, she warned that Republican and independent voters that Trump approach to presidential power and political opponents posed risk to democratic institutions. Right now, Trump supporters are saying we should have listened to Kamala Harris. And those what I've said were the warnings they ignored. They are the warnings they ignored. You see? If you could listen to Kamala Harris, but it could be better. But you did not vote for her. Number one, maybe because she's a woman, I don't know that, but because I think she is a black lady and you did not want anything to do with black people. You voted for racism, and that is the consequences you are getting. Tell me what you get, or you tell me in the comment section how you say about this. Peace out.